Not to sound overly dramatic here, but whoever loses tonight's game in Detroit can effectively kiss their playoff chances goodbye. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Dave Loughran here, and we got Thursday Night Football. Detroit Lions at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Two teams trying to claw their way into playoff position, one back in the playoff position, one trying to get there in the first place, but one's playing a whole lot better than the other has. We're going to break it all down for tonight's game with the Lions as 3-point favorites. Of course, I've got a little ladder play for you coming up later in the video, and we'll throw a touchdown out there, try and get a little bit different with the FanDuel $2 million jackpot that they do every single Thursday night. So if you appreciate this content, I appreciate you guys. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that hype button. That goes a long way, man. Apparently, it reaches more of an audience when you do so. So thank you in advance. Let's dig into this one. Now, you've got two teams, right? One just keeps losing, and when they win, it's in overtime against the Lions. But they have not looked good coming out of the bye, quite frankly. Yeah, they beat up on the Commanders, but the Lions overall are having some troubles, and we're going to get into all of that. On the other side, the Cowboys, you got the Eagles, you got the Chiefs. This team's playing good football. They made a huge acquisition at the trade deadline that paid immediate dividends. But, I look at this and I think, like, if either loses this game, it's essentially the death knell on their playoff hopes. You would need multiple teams ahead of them after this to just fully collapse down the stretch. And I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. And to make matters worse for the Detroit Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown doesn't look like he's playing today. I mean, both he and Dan Campbell said there's a chance that he plays, but the betting market, they have no props listed whatsoever. And all of these other guys, Tom Kennedy, Isaac Tesla, Jameson Williams, their props are way higher than they typically be. And the fact that St. Brown hasn't practiced all week would suggest that he's not going to be out there. And that's not good for Jared Goff or for this team in general, because the Lions already aren't playing good football right now. And that goes beyond just St. Brown only playing six snaps last week. The offensive line has not been able to protect Jared Goff. They just haven't. Not nearly as well as they did last year. And they're not getting as much pressure on defense either. Look, they tried to bring Frank Ragnow out of retirement, right? And then he failed his physical and he's not going to play this season. Outside of Aiden Hutchinson, where is the pressure significantly coming from in Detroit every single week? Look, I've been a backer of them in many games recently, and they have not come through for us. Maybe they will today. It's hard to say. And as always, let me know down in the comments, are you guys going to back the Lions here in a spot where you go, hey, listen, it hasn't looked good recently, but they still have the pieces. They can still get it done. They're at home where they've typically performed well. Look, I understand all of that, but I will say the Cowboys are firing on all cylinders right now. And hey, maybe this is the letdown spot, right? You're coming off a big emotional win at home on Thanksgiving against the Kansas City Chiefs. But then if that's the argument, how do we explain the fact that they're coming? That game was off the heels of an even bigger emotional win at home against a division rival and reigning Super Bowl champion Eagles team down 21-0. Like, the argument would have been, hey, this team just came back from down 21-0, went on a 24-0 run to win that game at home against the defending champs. Now you're going in a handful of days later on Thanksgiving against the Chiefs, who desperately need a win themselves. Big letdown for the Cowboys, but no, they got to win, and in pretty convincing fashion. So I must say, I don't know how much I can buy into that. The D-line has been fantastic lately. Seriously, since they got Quinnen Williams in the mix, actually even before that, going back to week 9, it's been one of the best D-lines with one of the best pressure rates in the league. And that is bad news for Jared Goff. Why? He has not been good under pressure at all this year. Remember what happened in Philadelphia a handful of weeks ago? I mean, it was his worst game, arguably, of his career. Now, of course, it was cold. There was some wind there, and this is at home in the Dome. I understand all of that, but under pressure, Jared Goff under pressure has 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions this year. He's thrown 25 touchdowns when he has a clean pocket. And now you're likely missing the clear safety valve in St. Brown. I mean, Dallas has some issues in the secondary and tackling, and that's what we're going to hit on with this ladder in a second. But it does feel like the type of spot where Dallas can keep cruising here. This offense is remarkable. Dak Prescott under pressure has actually been excellent this year. You have CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson. Javonte Williams is having a great season. And the Detroit Lions defensively are not getting the same pressure, and the secondary has not looked fantastic either. Not to mention that Terrion Arnold's probably done for the season. I think he is done for the season. Kirby Joseph has this lingering knee issue that's keeping him out again. Brian Branch is questionable. It could be a long day. I mean, can they still win at home? Absolutely. But you know what? I'd lean Dallas +3 here on the road, looking for another win against another good football team. All right, let's talk about some props. You guys know I dig into these as much as I possibly can every week for you. And I throw all of my bets up on Tails. They're always free. All of them are free. The link's in the description. If you're not over there on Tails yet, I mean, what do we do? You can literally one-click tail everything. The beauty of this is that you're not just going in there and then manually placing these bets. No, if I post a 4-game lotto ticket parlay, which we do every single Sunday, you can come in there and click tail and then just find the best odds at whatever book you're at. Tap the next button, 2 buttons, 2 clicks, 2 taps, and it immediately loads it straight into your bet slip without you doing anything manually yourself. Plus, you're not paying a cent. All of those free bets over there. Check the leaderboards out. See who's crushing lately on long shots. See who has win streaks. All of that good stuff. Not to mention, you can turn on notifications and make sure you never miss a bet. So if you want to follow me outside of just YouTube, because I can't post all of my plays here. Typically, a lot of my best bets are coming just exclusively on Tails, because how can I just make a video every time something good pops up and we find an edge, right? Even if I don't have time to post it over there on X. So yeah, come hit me up. Come follow a bunch of great people over there with that link down below, and download the Tails app as well. But I mention all of that because this is one of these spots where I'll have up there, and I'll have more up there throughout the day, but there just aren't a lot of props I like in this game. With the St. Brown news, you know, all of these receiving props are juiced up a ton for Detroit. And who knows, what if he ends up playing? I mean, I don't think he will. Dallas receiving props, a lot of them are tough. And man, touchdown props, these books really are, these books, man, it's like criminal at this point, you know? They can put the odds, they can set the odds wherever they want because they don't offer a no option on these. And now you've got like 5 guys favored to score in this game. I get that it's a high total, but still remarkable what they're doing. Anyway, here's what I'm going to do. And I didn't want to do this, but Bet365, the alt number there is so much better than everywhere else. And of course, link down there below as well. If you're not on Bet365 yet, you get $200 in bonus bets when you deposit 10 and bet 5. 21 years old to gamble. Gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. But it's not about the bonuses. It's about the fact that their alt numbers are so much better. Jahmyr Gibbs, if we want to ladder him up to 70, and we're going to do it today. If you want to do that on FanDuel, I think it's like +420. On DraftKings, it's like, I think +380. Caesars, no good either. I mean, on Bet365, if we wanted to ladder Jahmyr Gibbs up to 70 today, get him at 6-1. And why do I like this? Well, Dallas has a good pass rush. St. Brown almost certainly isn't going to play. When we saw a pass rush really get to Jared Goff, it was a few weeks ago in Philly, he peppered Jahmyr Gibbs with targets. When the Giants, when the Lions were struggling to throw the football, move the football at all, they went to Gibbs not only on the ground, but 12 targets on the day. Do I think that the Cowboys are defensively improved? Absolutely. But do I also know that in space, Gibbs can dominate? No question about it. And do I think he will turn into that safety valve? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Tom Kennedy who's going to occupy a lot of those slot routes, or Isaac Tesla, who only saw 2 targets despite playing 90+% of snaps. Jamison Williams is a stud, but I'm not sure he's the guy either. So who does it end up being? Ross Dwelly? No, it's probably Jahmyr Gibbs in a spot like this. And the Cowboys have allowed the 3rd most receiving yards to running backs on the season. Despite an improved defense, I think there's something here. Bet365, think of the difference there. You're getting it at 6-1 compared to a +380 on DraftKings. That's why I'm doing this, because I think this number, the implied odds there, suggest 14%. He would need to hit this 14% of the time for us to break even. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, without St. Brown, can do this more than 14% of the time. So that's my spot. I already bet it. All right, FanDuel $2 million jackpot. I'm going Ross Dwelly at 4-1. Why? First of all, I'm putting a very small bet on this because I don't think the odds are actually good. I'm only doing this because you play this like you're playing the lottery. You don't play this and say, oh, it's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. So then if you do win, you split it with 5 million other people and everybody gets 36 cents. I don't care about that. Placing a small bet on this and hoping that I'm different enough. That's all it comes down to. So Ross Dwelly here with Brock Wright out, with Sam Laporta out. They do look to these guys, these tight ends, these obscure tight ends in the red zone, at the goal line. It happens more often than not in Detroit. And he was targeted 3 times last game. Do I think nobody's going to play him? No, but I think it's going to be a lot fewer people on him than all of these other CeeDee Lamb, Pickens, Javonte, Ferguson, probably even Dak, Gibbs, Montgomery, Jameson Williams, probably less than Tom Kennedy and Isaac Tesla. You get the point. So I think he's going to be far down the list. A sprinkle on that, see if we can get there, first or last touchdown, maybe even both. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll be posting more on tails. I already have a bunch of great stuff posted for Sunday's main slate and the Monday night bet as well. If you want to come check that out, link is down below. As always, appreciate you hanging out, and we'll catch you back here for the next one. Bye-bye.